This is Valley News Live at noon.
And we start with breaking news this afternoon. A Moorhead man is now charged in Clay County Court with second-degree murder. 25-year-old James Coley Jr. is expected in court this week after being arrested on Friday in Richland County. He is being held in the Wahpeton jail and is awaiting extradition back to Minnesota. Family members discovered the victim's body in South Moorhead Thursday night after checking on the woman at her home in the 3800 block of 32nd Street South. The woman is believed to be Coley's mother. Police say that she had traumatic injuries on her body and that there were no signs of forced entry into the home. The cause of death is being determined by the Ramsey County Medical Examiner's Office. And new at noon, a Valley City man is facing charges after a crash that left a vehicle hanging over a bridge deck. Valley City police were called just before 3 a.m. Saturday to the 800 block of 8th Avenue South near the VCSU Bubble and Wellness Center. When police arrived, they found a vehicle resting on the sidewalk and hanging over the bridge to the Cheyenne River. 24-year-old Dempsey Williams was taken out of the vehicle and brought to Mercy Hospital before being arrested for DUI and care required. The Minnesota Board of Pharmacy is filing a lawsuit against edible manufacturers and stores. The board says that it will file the lawsuit in Clay County District Court today. The board says that THC edible manufacturers and retailers violated edible laws, and 2 Moorhead businesses are named in the lawsuit. Now, the Pharmacy Board is holding a press conference very soon at 1 o'clock to explain the suit. Well, now let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green with a look at our Monday forecast. Good afternoon, Lisa.
Good afternoon. Yes, we are talking about temperatures that might be feeling like we're still in the morning hours because those numbers are still sliding because of that strong and chilly northwest wind. We've been watching it reduce our visibility on this DOT cam in the Donaldson area of Minnesota since this morning. I'm happy to report that visibility is looking a lot better here with the wind easing up slightly, but it's still cold out there. We've got some mostly cloudy skies. You can see a few areas where we might have a little bit of flaky activity drifting through, but overall, just more on the mostly cloudy side here this afternoon. A look at our temperatures right now. 18 degrees in Fargo. We started in the low 20s, so it's been a slow drop, but we are watching those temperatures slide. Grand Forks definitely much colder. 8 degrees there, so is Devil's Lake. And we've got a little bit of snow being reported in Bemidji at the moment. So varying conditions out there, but the bottom line is we're looking at some colder air taking over and the possibility for more snow later tonight. Not until the late night hours. You can see we get through the rest of the afternoon and the evening with mainly dry conditions. Just looking at those temperatures continuing to drop. Some of us even in that sub-zero range for a time. That doesn't even include the wind. But then after that 10 o'clock hour, we'll be watching for that light snow to move in to affect us overnight. And that Tuesday morning commute could get kind of tough. More details on all of that coming in just a couple of minutes.
All right, definitely going to have a lot to go over, Lisa. Thank you so much. Well, Fargo man is in jail for DUI, driving after revocation, and carrying a concealed weapon after a chase on Interstate 29. Troopers tried pulling over a motorcycle driver yesterday afternoon for going 70 in a 55 zone in Fargo, but they say he took off at speeds hitting 120 miles per hour at one point. The Highway Patrol terminated the pursuit when the driver turned into Harwood, then found the driver had crashed in that town and was running from the scene. The trooper caught up with him and arrested him, and he is 29-year-old chased to board. A main track is back open after a trail derailment in northwestern North Dakota. It happened early Saturday morning near Epping in Williams County. Rail crews are still working to reopen the other main line in that area. There are no reports of any injuries or what caused the derailment. Election day in Georgia is tomorrow for a U.S. Senate runoff with major implications for the country. Polls show that Republican Herschel Walker and Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock are locked in a tight race. More than 1.8 million people have already cast their ballots. As Nikki Killian reports, Friday was the biggest early voting day in Georgia's history.
Are you ready to win this election?
Incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock ended Sunday just as he began it, in church.
You're going to vote for somebody whose last name begins with a W. Just make sure you vote.
And the Baptist minister who pastors the same church Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. did got some backup from the choir. In a virtual phone bank with Stevie Wonder.
Georgia needs Herschel Walker.
Instead of star power, it was Senate power, with South Carolina's Tim Scott and Louisiana's John Kennedy stumping for Republican challenger Herschel Walker.
Do y'all know Raphael Warnock has spent over $100 million against me already? And we're in a tie.
With the end zone in sight, the former Georgia football star also spent part of his weekend tailgating with supporters at the SEC championship game. It's all part of an intense ground game to drive turnout on both sides.
This election is so critical.
Even though control of the U.S. Senate is no longer on the line, voters say Georgia still matters.
If 2 or 3 of them do not lockstep with the Biden agenda, then we have another potential Republican senator that might break that trend.
We have an opportunity here to create a real majority, a real 51-49 situation. So this is hugely important.
Nicole Killian, CBS News.
More than 1/4 of active voters in the state have already cast their ballots, so the focus is on driving turnout Election Day. It was an emotional night in Waukesha, Wisconsin, where the city's Christmas parade made its return. People lined the streets last night, just 1 year after a driver plowed through the parade route, killing 6 people and injuring 60 more. A group called Milwaukee's Dancing Grannies were back carrying pictures of 3 members and a volunteer who died during last year's attack. The man convicted of carrying out last year's attack is serving 6 consecutive life sentences. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear oral arguments today in a case involving a Colorado graphic designer who says she has a First Amendment right to refuse to create websites for same-sex weddings despite a state anti-discrimination law. The case will mark the second time in 5 years that the Supreme Court has confronted a similar issue. Well, coming up at noon, the red-hot real estate market is cooling down. We'll take a look at why home sales are sinking. But next, meteorologist Lisa Green has your weather to plan your day.